Welcome everybody, my name is Raafuh, and today we're going to be playing the Gears of War 4 beta. The beta has gone live. It went live April 18th, and between the 18th and the 24th, all players of the Gears of War Ultimate Edition will have early access. On the 25th, all players who didn't play and or buy the Gears of War Ultimate Edition will still be able to play the game and sort of get their hands on the beta. So that won't happen until the 25th, but before then, anybody who did play the Gears of War Ultimate Edition will have a chance to play. If you're wondering how to play the beta, obviously they are going to be releasing codes chronologically. They will be sending out emails or messages on Xbox Live with the codes for you guys that did play the Gears of War Ultimate Edition, and they're doing that in chronological order. So if you went out and bought your Gears of War Ultimate Edition at midnight and played it at midnight, it's very likely that by now you should already have your code. If you don't, just be patient, guys. They are rolling out codes as quickly as they can, and you will have access to the game by the 24th. And then on the 25th, everyone else who obviously didn't play Gears of War Ultimate Edition will still have their chance at playing the game, and that'll be great because then everyone can sort of try out the game for themselves. If you guys have any more questions about codes or when will you get your beta access, etc., you guys can go to gearsofwar.com. They have awesome articles there, very easy to navigate their website and sort of check out all the cool things that they have going on that are Gears of War related. Let's talk a little bit about the map that we're playing on, guys. We're on Foundation, one of the 3 maps that we get to play in the beta. The other 2 are going to be Dam and Harbor. Pretty cool maps overall. I think that the size of the maps are great. They're not huge, they're not small, they're just perfectly in the middle so that the game can stay fast-paced, and you know, the shotguns are still very prominent. You don't have people sort of sitting on the place and just lantering everyone down. I think they did a very, very good job at keeping the map sizes at a very constant number. Another thing that I really liked about the maps, guys, is the color scheme. As you guys can see, there's a lot of bright colors around the map. If you guys remember, obviously, any of the other Gears of War maps, you guys remember how dark and how gloomy and just how gray they were, right? They sort of matched the tone of the story mode, right? The story mode was very post-apocalyptic, Earth ruined, you know, alien invasion. It had to match that sort of theme, so it sort of made sense for the developers to choose those colors for those maps. But I do like that they're taking it in another direction, making the maps very eye candy like for everyone, so that, you know, even players that aren't very familiar with the series can really see and be aesthetically pleased when looking at all the colors around the maps. I think that's something that they definitely should have improved a little bit earlier within the series, but I'm definitely glad that they're doing it now. Something that I need to give them 2 thumbs up for. Moving on to Gal 4 release date. You know, the release date isn't announced yet. It hasn't been announced yet. Maybe it will be announced at E3 this year. I know that the placeholder date right now is just fall 2016. So if I had to bet money, I think it would be sometime in October that it'll be released. It'll feature two-player co-op. Obviously, if you guys are a fan of any of the other games, you guys have known that 2-player co-op has always been an option in Gears of War. I think 3 and 2 did 4-player co-op, which a lot of people are bummed that it isn't back, but I think two-player co-op is just fine if you're just, you know, a regular player of the series and you kind of know what's going on because you're sort of used to that since, you know, the original Gears of War game. There's obviously a new enemy this time around. It's the Swarm. It's actually the character that I'm playing right now. They're pretty cool character. They look very similar to the Locust, but they have their own like little unique, like aesthetically, like, you know, developed like parts or characteristics. One of the cool things that I've noticed about the Swarm is all the cool noises they make. They sound like murlocs in a way. Very like murlocky noises is what they sort of like sound like they make when they're doing, you know, when they're committing an action or like, you know, hiding behind cover or shooting someone. If you guys don't know what murlocs are, or you're not a fan of World of Warcraft or anything like that, definitely look up murloc noises and then compare them to the Swarm noises that you guys are hearing in this video, and then you'll be like, oh, that actually makes a lot of sense. Obviously, it's the Swarm versus the Cog. Before it was the Locust versus the Cog, so you do have that very similar sort of like, you know, bad guy versus good guy going on when playing multiplayer. Some of the things that I personally liked about the beta so far, guys, is the color scheme. I think I can't stop talking about that enough. It's something that's so cool to see in a Gears of War game. You know, from, you know, Gears 1 all the way to Gears Judgment. all of those color schemes have always been very dark, very bland. I really do like that they're bringing up that they're, you know, they're spiking up the intensity on the colors and making it a little bit more pleasing to play and to see. I love the fast gameplay. I love it. I love it a lot. I like the new shotgun. They did something really cool where before, when you were shooting your shotgun, obviously you would line up the enemy to the middle of your screen to kind of get a very good hip fire shot. Now you kind of have to line them up with the barrel of your shotgun. It sounds odd, and it is something that you definitely have to get used to, but I think it's really cool that they added that in there, and sort of a more realistic approach to how the shotgun would work in an actual gunfight. So I think that's something that they deserve a lot of credit for. I really also dig the ranking system. I think right now you can go bronze, silver, gold, and I want to say diamond, but I haven't gotten there yet. But I'm going to assume that it's diamond, which is the highest tier. You basically gain ranks by winning games and performing well in games, and that kind of keeps the game fresh. It keeps it interesting. It keeps you, you know, sort of wanting to do better and better and better to kind of climb the ranks and show off against your friends that, you know, maybe your friend will be like a bronze. You're like, oh, look at me, I'm gold tier. This is great. You're not as good as me. Yada yada yada. Definitely keeping the game competitive. I really like that. I think the Hammerburst and the Lancer could have been a little bit more prominent, but that's you know, my personal opinion. I'm sure I have a lot of people that disagree with me there. Overall, the beta, guys, right now it's very fun. I really enjoy it. I think that you guys will too, and I'll see you guys in my next video, guys. Take care. Have a great day.